Welcome to What's in the Bag, where we give the voice to the voiceless and we let you say whatever is on your mind. My name is Marvina and I am your host.
Welcome to What's in the Bag and the Morning Coffee with Marvina. Hey, are you early birds? Are you early birds? That's me. That's my early birds. Good morning. Good morning. First of all, I want to just give honor to God first. I have to say that. I don't know why, but that's something I wanted to say before we get started. Hey, I just want to let y'all know my BFF, my co-host, is in the building again today.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
BFF.
Good morning.
Boy, we gonna go ahead on. We got a great topic today to talk about. But first, I'm gonna let you know I'm drinking today. Hey, I'm drinking my coffee today. I tried this new Folgers. Well, it ain't new. It's Folgers. It's not new. I've drunk it before, but it's new to me because I really never had it before. I got it from my mama's house. But anyway, would I buy it again now? It's okay. It's okay, but I like the Kroger brand. I'm just into the Kroger brand. So how about you, Yvonne?
Well, you know me. Of course, I'm always starting my morning off with a cup of coffee. Today, I am drinking Javalia.
Okay.
Javalia.
Whatever that is.
I just, you know what? I just said it's signature blend Javalia, and I just wanted to try something a little different. And it's actually really, really good. It's really good. Now, I would still go with my Costa, Costa coffee. I tried that one, fell in love with it, and they don't sell it in the stores. So I'm hoping that they hear me and put it on the shelves. If not, I have to order it. But that's what I got.
Okay, everyone. Hey, I want to go ahead on and talk about our topics today. Well, today I really thought at this moment, at this time, because guess what I'm doing? You know what I'm doing. What am I doing, Yvonne? I'm packing. I'm packing again. I'm getting ready to move again. Well, I am so tired of moving. I mean, I'm just tired of renting. I'm tired of moving. I've been moving. You know what, Yvonne, and this is no lie. Do you know out of my 51 years, well, of course, my adult years, I have moved around close to 40 times.
Wow.
I was counting it this morning. Renting houses.
In your adult years?
In my adult years. Wow. I started from Stanley Terrace, which we lived in Hillside, to where I'm at right now. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, I've been on a move with 5 children and now grandchildren. And I am so tired of moving. I'm ready to buy. I am so ready to buy me a house. I want me a house. I want a house where I'm going to stay stable. I want a house because, I did once upon a time, I did buy a house. You was there, this mortgage stuff, and you was there. You helped me in there. But I was oblivious to it. I didn't understand it. I just knew that I was going to get a house and didn't realize that there was responsibility with that. Somebody looked at my credit and they said, oh, you can get a house, and I wanted my children home. It was a lot to it. And I went on and I went and signed these papers. I'm sitting in front of these people and signing these papers with all of this writing and just putting my name on it, and didn't understand nothing I was writing, what I was signing. I didn't understand. But I knew that, okay, I'm ready to get a house. And once I got in the house, it really became a nightmare more than, I ain't gonna say it wasn't a blessing. It was a blessing. But because I was not educated on this mortgage stuff, loan stuff, what the responsibilities of having a house, all the things that goes with it. I never knew these things. I just lived. And that was hard because now I have responsibility, not only taking care of my children, but I have to take care of this house. And it was hard, you know. So now, I mean, you know, Yvonne, you was right there. You was right there with you seen it. You seen the struggle. It was a struggle. I mean, I was young. I had all these children and all, and at that time, I think it was 5.
No, 4. You had 4 at the time.
4 and 1 on the
4
way.
at the time.
I was ready to have one. Yes, Ron. And I needed a house. And you made it possible.
Yeah. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a blessing, but like you said, it wasn't enough just to take and get the house. There's also the part about the upkeep and the maintenance of the house. Yes. Whether or not you're living in like a what do you call it, an HOA or neighborhood association fees and things of that nature. Yes. It's more that goes along with it. You have the property insurance.
Yes.
You know, so you may be thinking that you're going in at one price, but then you have the other things to factor into, as well as groceries, utilities, things of that nature. So sometimes we get excited about the house itself, not factoring in what it's going to take in order to maintain and remain in the house.
That's right. And I didn't know. I was stupid too. I mean, I just knew I had a house. I mean, and then lost it. I mean, and let me say this. I wasn't by myself. I was married. I had a husband. No, I had a boyfriend at the time. I don't think we were married. I had a boyfriend, and we went into this house together, and that's another story. And you can see where I'm at now. I mean, be honest with you. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm being naked and not ashamed.
Naked and not ashamed, yeah.
You know, I moved and moved and moved. And I've been moving so much. My children are all grown, and I probably could tell you that each and every one of them, their experience in each and every house we've been in, all the memories and things like that. And let me say this, he graced me with beautiful houses. I rented a whole lot of houses, but I moved from here and didn't know how to use my money right. How was I going to pay all these bills, take care of all my children, and all this extra? And I moved here. And then especially when hiccups come, when something happens in the house, I ain't have no insurance. I couldn't pay for this and then pay for that.
And then the main thing with renting. Yeah, and then the main thing with renting is the landlords are always in control. They want to move back into the house, they want to take it over.
Foreclosed on us.
Yeah. And the thing that happened, and the thing that really happened with the home that you initially had was the fallout of the mortgage industry.
Right.
When the fallout of the mortgage industry happened, because you were able to get in at on an ARM.
I was on an ARM, but I didn't understand that. I didn't know what an ARM was. I was just
an adjustable rate mortgage. But now with the ARM, you were, because your credit was good, you were going to be able to refinance out of it. And then we woke up one morning to some of the worst news, because remember, I was in the same situation. We woke up in the worst news. The mortgage industry fell out. Basically, it bottomed out. People were losing homes left and right. Big mortgage companies closing up, and everything went out of business. And it affected us horribly. Yeah, it affected us horribly. Yeah. You couldn't refinance, and the ARM got bigger and bigger. Yeah. And then that put you on the road to continual renting. Constantly over and over.
I thought this would be so wonderful, for a great time for us to start educating everybody about first and foremost about this buying a house, learning about the loans and what you're getting yourself into.
That's right.
Why it's good to buy and why it's good to be stable and all that good stuff. I thought it was really important for us to start educating people. No, what you think? Don't you think? You know, because who
it is
wants
because
to move?
yeah, you want to be educated. You want to be educated to the fact. You know, I'm gonna tell you something. Owning a home is one of the biggest blessings that you can get, but you got to educate yourself. You got to know the neighborhood that you want to live in. Right. Because you can't get into that neighborhood and then be like, okay, I don't like the way this person cut their grass, or the color they paint their house, so now I'm going to pack up and walk away.
Right.
No.
Right.
You also need to educate yourself as it relates to your finances. Create a budget, a workable and livable budget. You got to be willing to make some sacrifices in that. And also start to pay yourself and create a savings account and an emergency fund, because you never know what tomorrow holds. Yes, it is. It really is.
It's a lot to
it. It really is.
Yeah, so that was my reasons to feeling like, I mean, my reasons for wanting this to be a day of education. It might not pertain to you. What might be said might not pertain to you, but share it. And you know, y'all need to share it. It might be for somebody else. Maybe someone else need to hear, you know, be educated, give wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on, you know, on how this purchasing stuff starts.
A home ownership.
So where we start, the first thing you know is you got to know how if you have good credit and somebody's going to give you a loan, the first thing you want to know is what this loan is about. What this mortgage loan is about.
The fine print.
Say, I'm sorry.
The fine print.
The fine print. We want to know what's going on the inside, because you don't want nobody to keep just giving you something and you just signing your name to it and you not educated on what, or even your family members, your children. We're gonna have to educate our kids on this, you know, buying houses, because they'll throw a whole lot at us and we don't have no clue on what they're saying. We just go ahead on and we just take it because we're desperate. I was desperate.
Wow. Wow. Okay. And you know, I didn't even think about it from that standpoint. Yeah, I knew your situation, but I'm saying I didn't know, you know, when you said it that way, it made me just think about how many people are in situations and they take that leap of faith and they feel that that's the cure-all, but they don't know, like the interest rates, like what type of interest rate are you getting yourself into? And in today's economy, it's cheaper to own a house than it is to rent. Right. Rents are astronomical. That's a whole nother segment.
I'm sorry to say it, but the rents are either high, or these houses that they're renovating and putting $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 on, that the same renovations before the COVID was done, they look the same. They wasn't costing that.
Yeah.
Now, now these houses are up there where the same houses, the same renovation, but now it costs more to buy them. And that's what's going on too.
I think they need to cap it. Yeah, I think they need to cap that. I saw a 4-bedroom for $3,000.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to introduce someone very special. Very special to me, my sissy. We knew each other from New Jersey. We got a lot of history back when. And she knows more about this mortgage and loan stuff. And she's going to blow your mind. She's going to blow your mind. She's going to tell you her reasonings and also what these little things are. I mean, what's the first little small things, little thing. Maybe you have some questions and you want to answer. We're even going to open up the lines for y'all. So if y'all want to talk about it, or we can do comments on the side. Just if there's anything you want to do to make sure that you get a better understanding, even reach out to her.
Yeah.
Her name, we just gonna bring her on in. We're gonna bring her on in. I am so excited about this right now. God's good. God is good. God is great.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Hi.
God is good.
All the time.
Yes.
We
All
just
the
have
time.
to say it. We have to give him his first. This young lady gonna blow your mind. I can't wait till y'all hear her. I can't wait till you understand some of the things that give her. I can't wait till she give you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that she knows.
Yes,
because
that's it.
Basically, I think she hitting some stuff on the nail, and we all need to know. Even myself.
Yeah.
So, girl, Sheila, girl, I just gotta ask the question, girl. What is in your bag?
We're going to talk about these mortgages today, honey. That's all that's in my bag. Mortgage banking all day long. Good morning, everyone. Some of you I know, some of you I don't. But it is a warm welcome. Thank you so much for having me on your platform. I'm excited to be here. This is probably my first visit here, but it will not be my last.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Shantae Bryant. I am a mortgage banking professional. I've been in mortgage banking for 20 plus years. I am currently processing loans for a major bank. I won't mention the name for legal reasons, of course. So I'm not going to talk too much about them specifically, but I will give you a little bit of background. I have been in the origination side. I've worked the secondary market. I've worked business to business deals. So I know mortgage banking forward, backward, and all sides in between. So I want to be able to provide some helpful hints for you guys, some valuable information. Of course, I will be available for questions, and then I will leave my contact information for anybody who has any other information they want to add later on. So I wanted to touch on some of the things that you guys already mentioned. And number one, right, what to expect in this housing market. What are we looking at? What are we dealing with, especially in this particular area? So I'm glad you guys mentioned the part about home buyer education and being aware of what's going on. Yvonne gave some good tips about, looking at the neighborhood you're looking in and being mindful of these things. But it's a lot of information. It's a lot. And it is very, very easy to get overwhelmed by it. It can happen very quickly. And because this is an emotional transaction for most people, you have to try to be able to separate the two. Now, we are just excited to get you into the house for the fish fries and the barbecues and the baby showers. We know, but this is not HGTV, okay? You will hurt your own little feelings if you expect it to flow that way. Sometimes it doesn't. Mortgage loans are like a fingerprint. Every single one is different. And if you've purchased a home or been through the process or owned a home in the past, you can certainly attest to that. There's one rule in mortgage banking that I think fits this conversation very well. A first-time home buyer. Now, in mortgage banking, legally and technically, the definition of a first-time home buyer is someone who has not purchased a property in 3 or more years. So you could have owned a home before. Whatever happened, you sell it, you move away, and 10 years later, you decide to buy again. You are a first-time home buyer all over again. Why? That information changes. One of the major things about mortgage banking and that loan that you're going to notice, and when we talked about interest rates, those things are calculated daily. Everything we do is by the date and by those rates and those numbers. So any little adjustment will affect the outcome of the loan, and that could affect your closing costs or your down payment requirements. So again, because there's so much information out there, we want to make sure that there is a safe space to get this information, to ask the questions, to be able to work yourself through the transaction so that you can purchase your house and sleep at night once you're in it. Not be worried about, now I am house rich and I'm cash poor. So educating yourself, and I love that Yolanda also touched on the financial literacy. Owning a home is like running a small business. And it's just one facet of your entire financial picture that should be, because it is a major asset that can and will appreciate with time, that you're going to focus around. But the rest of your financial literacy needs to be centered around that. And that is definitely where budgeting, cost cutting, those things come into place. You have to be diligent about it and take it seriously, because it's the roof over your head. It is your safe haven. So this is something that you definitely want to hold close to your heart and go into that transaction aware and not be afraid of this transaction, so you can enjoy your home.
Yes, girl.
Yes.
Speaking
truth, the facts.
Facts. So what made you, what really made you get into it? Just a little bit. Tell them. I gotta ask the question. Tell them what made you really get into this and wanting to help people, because this is exactly what you do.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things. When I started out really, really young. So I I'm only 42, but I'm 21 years in the business. So I started out
All
as a
right
babe.
now.
I was really excited about it. It just was one of the most mind-boggling things I'd ever come across, because you're a child, you're growing up, and you go to college and you learn all these things. You're gonna buy a house, and but I wanted to know what those things look like and what that meant. So I kind of was always in, reading fine prints and stuff like that, just kind of curious little bugs. But this actually started with a job. I was actually working for a nonprofit grassroots organization helping women and men get off of welfare back into the workforce. Completely different.
Okay.
Yeah. So the need and love for helping people started there. I was working at 18 years old with women old enough to be my mom, trying to get off of welfare and get into the work system, and looking at me and saying, well, if you can do it, I can do it. And so that's what really pulled my heart to anything you put your mind to, you can do. So because it was this, little small grassroots thing, had to find another job once the contract ended, and I landed in a real estate office. I was fascinated. It was everything to me. So I just I took to it. But in working in real estate, I also noticed that a big part of the real estate piece is sales. Well, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm not a salesperson. I'm just not. Sales isn't my thing, So, but I said to myself, all of this that's encompassed, I started to learn all of the different parts, the home inspectors and all of the different components. And then I said to myself, well, guess what? Everybody got to go to the bank.
That's right.
Wow. That's right.
Everybody got to go to the bank. Follow the money. Follow the money. And I was working with a representative at that real estate firm whose name was Marvina. This Black woman was everything, honey. She was dressed to the nines every time you saw her. And I would never forget the words out of her mouth, because her name caught me alone, and we would just chit chat and stuff like that. And one day I just said to her, I'm like, yo, this is fabulous. She said, follow the money. And those words never left me. So as much as I loved real estate, it only made sense because in real estate, I can show you houses and we can shop for a month and you can say, no, I don't want a house.
Right.
And then I'm back to square one, but you need that bank. Right. So I said, well, let me go on over to the bank.
That's right. Yes.
And these things aren't, you can't just kind of walk into the bank and say, I want to do this. It was actually a segue to a credit reporting agency that I started working for first. So I got to learn the entire credit piece. I worked with Equifax, Experian, TransUnion directly. I got to see how that piece interjected into the loan piece. And then just taking a part-time summer job, I wound up at IndyMac Bank and never left. So I've been in banking ever since then, and I absolutely love it. There's so much to learn and know about it. But one of the things for me is that it gives me a piece of ownership too.
Right.
And I think for us, especially people of color, that means the world to us to have a piece of this rock that we belong on, that we can call our own. So those laws of real estate that taught me that property line is yours down to the core, all the way to the heavens above, was enough freedom for me to say, that's something I want to be a part of. You can't take that from me. And if I educate myself on it, then I'm going to hold it down like Fort Knox, because this is where I'm going to raise my children. This is where I want my elderly mother to come to care for her. This is where I need to get my peace at night. And so there was so much information. I kind of just got sucked into it. So here I am 20 years later, still loving every bit of it. But
and the blessing. The blessing.
I've been through the process myself, and like I tell people all the time, this is not, it's not easy, right? Because it's a lot that you're trying to put together, but that emotional pull,
right.
And then we feel kind of disadvantaged. I know for me personally, I'm like, well, I'm over 40 years old, and other people owned homes, and I hadn't owned a home, or those types of things will make you change the way that transaction is being handled, just because you're so pulled toward it. So then it was more important for me to say, educate yourself on it. I want something that I can have and keep. Getting the house is the easy part.
Right.
The house
Yes.
It's the hard part.
Yes.
So
that's right.
And that for me starts right when you sit down to that loan application. You are applying for a 30-year mortgage. Before you ask that loan officer anything, are you going to work at that job for 30 years? You'd like to, but you don't know.
Exactly.
Can you guarantee me that you're always going to make this much money for 30 years to give me all my money back?
No.
Impossible, right? How do you make this something so widespread, something that we never have any control over? So like you guys mentioned, when that housing crush came, everybody was pummeled by it.
Yes. Oh my
Big
goodness.
part of what happened though with that big housing crush was you had some greedy people, and I'm just going to call it what it is. I work in the bank, and I've been working in banks for a long time. Anybody who's in the banks will tell you a lot of the corruption comes from inside.
You got that right.
I was an investor, so I worked from the investment side, and I saw I'm so grateful that I never went down that path. Even though people were like, "Come, you can do this, you can do that, you can make all this money," and Marvina would tell you, I would say, I said, "I'm not doing that." I said,
"Same here.
There is going to come a time."
Same here.
When you know what is going to hit the fan, and
it comes back.
It was all of us. Standing there looking crazy. So
exactly, it comes back. It comes back to you, and I don't care how you trying to run from it. I mean, it comes back to you. You do bad stuff, it comes back. I don't care how you look at it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But with this thing here, this is our economy. What a lot of people need to realize is the banks push our economy. All right.
That's right.
The inflation, the deflation, they're going to do this every year. This is economics 101. Every year they want you to go in the summertime and spend your money at the gas pump so you can go on vacation.
That's right. Yes.
This is economics. So with the housing market being one of, if not the most influential when it comes to our ebb and tide of how we live every day, when too many people get greedy in a pot, then you leave crumbs for everybody else. And unfortunately, that wasn't the move either. You know, the goal was
not even just the crumbs. You put it makes it harder for the next people to come, all the people that is.
I was going right into that, because what happens is, if I work for Wells Fargo and I lose my job and I'm paying my mortgage to Chase, well, now I'm not paying Chase either. So guess what Chase is going to do? Chase is going to have to start laying people off. So now Chase them laid you off, and now you can't pay Bank of America. And so now, and it keeps going.
It's a snowball effect.
It was a snowball.
And that's crazy. And that's crazy.
So
you suffer for other people.
We all suffer.
Yeah. We all suffer.
So
we all.
In the scope of time, I want to kind of reel it in, because we can do this all day. I want to talk a little bit about what we're seeing in today's housing market, right? Because I can talk about the past all day. Okay. What are we seeing today? What are we looking at now? What can you guys expect? Coming off the heels of COVID, let me say this. Nobody in mortgage banking, if they're telling you that they know what the market looks like after a pandemic, they're a liar.
Right. That's right.
We've never seen one.
That's right. Never.
The last time we saw an economic crush this bad was in 1929. You weren't there.
Right.
Okay, so let's pay attention to what's happening now, which also is going to play directly into your local politics, your national politics, the world news. All of those things are playing a part in what we're seeing out here on the available market. You guys touched on earlier, the housing cost itself. Let's think about the supplies, the wood, the nail, the piping. All skyrocketed because of COVID, with the inability to transport necessary supplies in a timely fashion. Gas prices went up, which means we can't deliver wood and nails for you to build this house. You have a ton of projects out there. You have builders out there with projects that they cannot finish, because guess what? Now nobody's lending to the builders.
That's right.
The market is locked. It is deadlocking itself. The real estate and the inventory. Like you mentioned earlier, this same house that was $125,000 is now $350,000. It's the inventory. It really has less to do with the house than the actual wood and the infrastructure and all of that, what's included in that, the ground underneath and the skies above, which is why the education is so important. The best thing everybody can do right now, align yourself completely financially first. Because you should already be coming off the heels of trying to recover from whatever COVID did in the first place. Number two, keep in mind, it's the exact same inventory that's out there. Ain't nothing new under the sun. They couldn't build anything else. It's there. It's not going anywhere.
Ain't that different?
These things usually take time, because it's going to take for all of these people to get back to work, back into a savings pattern. But here's the other thing that I come across a lot. How do you save money right now?
It's hard. I tell them. I tell them.
How? I
Please
teach
help me
that for
know.
years. One of the biggest parts of my entire career is budget counseling. So anybody who knows me from NACA in the Neighborhood Assistance Corporation, I was a consultant there for about 6 or 7 years. One of the things that I love about NACA's program is that it is teaching you home ownership education. It is also teaching you financial literacy and financial planning.
Yes.
And like Yvonne touched on, having all of those other things in place are going to be just as important as you making that first mortgage payment.
That's right.
So little tiny side story, as long as I've been doing this, about halfway in, my husband and I at the time, 10 years or so ago, purchased a house. Super excited. I acted like I was green just so I could get the full experience because it was completely different being on that side of the table. I felt that emotional pull because this time it was my house. I felt every bit of that transaction because now it was my legacy.
Right.
2 weeks after we closed, my husband's job cut all overtime. Cut our income doggone near by 30%.
Wow.
We had just bought the house. We had just woken up to our first Saturday morning, excited that we bought the house, looked around and realized we didn't have a lawnmower. Everybody mowing their lawns, and we're sitting there like, we don't even have a lawnmower.
I understand.
What are we gonna do? We were so excited that the family's gonna come. We're gonna open the pool in the summer. We couldn't even cut the grass, child.
I understand.
Okay, so I am here to put those things in place, remind you of what's out there. Marvina, I sent you those links. I see you're putting them up.
I'm putting them up there.
So I know we're close on time. I want to run. I just want to close it up real quick and say I did send you a couple of links that Marvina is putting up. That one right there, dca.ga.gov. Excellent resource for the state of Georgia is the Department of Community Affairs. If you know about the state programs in Georgia, DCA does everything from homeownership programs, first-time buyer programs. They run state home mortgage, Section 8. Everything you need under the sun is at dca.gov. NACA.com, if you're not familiar, excellent program for first-time buyers.
I love NACA.
No credit score required. No credit score. Okay. Tons of information on their website. Love it. My number one favorite website to go to for anybody, HUD.gov.
HUD, yes.
One stop shop. It's all there. It's everything you want to know. One of the things that if you go to that site, especially as a first-time buyer or a current homeowner, they have these little checklists. Make sure you look at that. There's little checklists that will teach you how to look at the neighborhood that you're selecting the home for before making that offer, what to expect during the contract purchase, what kind of questions to ask to your loan officer, understanding the loan process, what resources are available, down payment assistance. There's a ton of information out there. Of course, I also added my link. You can ask me questions at Facebook. Right now, I don't have anything separate from my other platform because I'm building that right now. But for right now, send me a message on Facebook. Give me a call and I'll be glad to answer any questions. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing this information with you guys. Thank you.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
The information.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And she told you, y'all go check her out on Facebook. If you got any questions, you might not want to put up here, but you might after this, you might have some questions on down the road or whatever. She can help you. 21 years, that's a long time. I mean, I got kids that are, that's a long time. You know a lot, baby. and I appreciate
it's important.
And all our people, I'm just gonna give you one. They saying thank you for the information.
I see. You guys are welcome. That's amazing.
Thank
you for the resources. Yeah.
Thank you. They give you thumbs up, girl. I'm grateful.
Love it.
I'm thankful.
I'm grateful.
I know I'm ready to get me a house, and it's coming soon. God has blessed me and showing me.
Yes.
He's giving me my love and my respect, and He's giving this.
You better say it. Yes.
Yes.
Education, people. Education.
Education. This is
education. Educate yourselves. Educate.
We gotta sign off. We love y'all. We want to thank y'all for watching. And guess what? We're gonna ask y'all this. I'm just gonna put this out here for y'all because it's true. What's in your bag?